name's Dave Burritt. You probably know me if you're watching this YouTube video because I'm sending it out to people I know who have Violano machines with the MIDI system, and I want to talk about some changes that I've made to my system, and I'm curious to get your feedback to see if you think it'd be something that's worthwhile. About 9 months ago I got my first Violano machine, and it's got the MIDI system from Mills Novelty, which is a way cool system. It allows you to play modern music on your Violano, as you know, from a Lenovo computer. And as you probably know, if you've got a Violano with a MIDI system, it ships with a Lenovo computer, and you get a dongle like this. It's an RF dongle which talks to a receiver down in the base of the machine to receive the MIDI music so it can play the music. It runs a proprietary program that Mills Novelty wrote, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's got playlists and albums, and you can compose your own playlists and all that, so it's really cool. But one thing I thought would be really neat would be to be able to control your Violano from your smartphone. And whether it's an iPhone or an Android, it shouldn't matter. And it would also be really nice if you didn't have to install any software at all on your phone. If you had a web interface. So I started thinking about it, and after playing around with it, I was able to come up with a solution where we can actually do that. So I'm going to put this Lenovo aside and give you a quick demonstration. So what I've done is I figured out a way for a web browser to be able to communicate to the Violano, and you can do the same thing that the Lenovo can do. You can have playlists, you can have albums, you can create playlists, edit playlists, and all that. And I've also, since I'm a coin-op guy, mainly slot machines, this thing was originally designed to run off of a nickel. The MIDI system, as it ships from Mills Novelty, does not allow you to use the coin acceptor with the MIDI system. You can flip a switch and it will still play with the rolls, but let's say you wanted to have a playlist of the Beatles songs or whatever. Someone puts in a nickel and you want it to play off a MIDI. So after giving it some thought, I figured out how to do that, and we'll give a quick demonstration of that after the first demonstration. So I've got several devices here. I've got a Mac running Safari, I've got an iPad mini, and a regular iPad, and my phone. And all of these can control the Violano through the web browser. So let's actually tell it to play a song, and we'll use my phone. So I'm going to log into my phone. I go to a URL, and what comes up is a list of all my songs. And I can tap playlists or albums or whatever, and if I hit playlists, the playlist comes up, and the playlist also comes up here. One of the challenges going to different devices is they have different screen sizes. The full-blown computer has a nice big window, phones not so much. And the software is smart enough to realize what the display capabilities are of the device, and it will tailor the user interface so it fits nicely on that screen. So I'm going to go to one of my playlists called Dave's Faves, and songs in there are All My Lovin', Baby Elephant Walk, Eleanor Rigby, Happy Trails, Rocky Top, 1M64. So let's just play 1M64. So I tap on 1M64. and we can hit resume. Or turn it off completely. So there's a quick example of controlling your Violano from your smartphone. So next, what we'll do is we'll put a coin in it, and it'll play a song from a playlist called Coin Play. And let's take a look at what Coin Play is. Coin Play has Eleanor Rigby, Michelle, Rocky Top, and When I'm 64. So it'll play one of those 4 songs when a nickel is deposited. So let me go get a nickel, and we'll put a nickel in and see it work with the coin acceptor. Okay, so let's see what song it will play. Okay, so I think you get the idea. Put in a coin and it plays. So regarding the coin play option, I want to just make some clarifications. There is some additional hardware needed for the coin play feature to work, and some minor wiring changes need to be made up in the coin box area. It's very minor. It's a matter of running 4 wires from the coin box area down into the control area, and there's a small additional board that you need to have. So in order to enable coin play, it's just not a matter of plugging in the new hardware for the browser MIDI control. It does require a little additional hardware. Regarding allowing the Violano to talk to your phone, there is a new piece of hardware that is required, but it's pure plug and play. You just literally plug it into the power, and then you take the MIDI control connector and you plug that into the MIDI board, and you unplug the existing RF receiver. So to get the browser support is very, very simple. To add coin play, a little more complicated, but it's pretty minor. The other thing I want to talk about is some of the controls that you can do while the song is playing. You can increase the tempo, decrease the tempo, change the position of the song. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate that, and then we'll talk about the actual user interface. So I'm going to go ahead and start Eleanor Rigby, and then we'll slow the tempo down, speed it up, and then change the position of the song. So we'll go ahead and start it. So let's slow the tempo down. Speed it back up. And we'll reset it back to normal. So now let's jump towards the end of the song. And then also when the song is playing, it shows you, what percent of the song you're into at 5%, 10%, and you'll see that on the user interface in the next section. So that's a quick demo showing the phone controlling the Violano. Now we'll show you the actual user interface on both a full-size computer screen, an iPad mini screen, and an iPhone. So let's do that now. Okay, so this is the user interface running on a MacBook Pro on the Safari browser, but the user interface should be virtually identical whether you're on a MacBook or on a Windows PC, whether you're running Safari or Internet Explorer or Chrome, Firefox, it shouldn't matter. The computer is on the wireless network, the same wireless network that the Violano is on. And so to get to the Violano, I just need to enter the IP address of the Violano in the URL window of the browser and hit enter. In this example, it's 192.168.173.1. So when I do that, it's going to prompt me, and this is just for my testing, which Violano do I want to connect to? I've got several emulators running in my lab, so it's saying, well, which one do you want to connect to? And I'm telling it I want to connect to a real Violano, which is number 4. So we get this little splash screen. The background picture is actually my Violano. And then here are all the songs that my Violano have. Now the default interface on a device that's got a big screen is table view. So you're presented with multiple columns of the songs. If you have more songs than what will fit on the screen, next shows up and you can hit next and you can see the next song. So if you have thousands of songs, you can just keep hitting next. If you prefer a list, you can hit list view and you get a single list, and then you can scroll up and down. And so to play a song is very simple. You just click on the song. When you do that, more information will appear showing the name of the song that's being played, where you're currently at, the ability to adjust the tempo, the position of where you're at in the song, and things like that. So let's go ahead and play Eleanor Rigby. So I've paused the song, so let's actually change the tempo. Let's slow it down. Let's speed it up. Let's go ahead and reset it. So we can also change the position of the song. So let's say we want to go towards the end. Let's go back to the beginning. Or we can just stop it altogether. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty straightforward interface for controlling the song, setting the tempo. One of the buttons that said save tempo, so if you were at tempo 110% and you wanted to save that, when you hit save, the machine will remember that, so the next time you play it, that will be the tempo that's played. So let's take a look at playlists. These are all my playlists, and again, if you prefer a table view, you hit table view, and you get 3 columns. Let's go back to list view. And coin play is a reserved playlist for the coin acceptor. These are all the songs that will be played when a nickel is deposited. So right now there looks like there's 7 songs in there. And let's say you want to change it out. You don't want to do those songs. Let's say you wanted to do I don't know, Christmas songs. It's Christmas time of year. So you say edit playlist. All the songs will appear. If they appear in red, they are currently in the playlist. So let's remove Eleanor Rigby, Happy Trails, Panama, San Antonio. So let's leave Silver Bells, Someday Soon. When I'm 64, let's put in White Christmas, Winter Wonderland, and that's good enough.
Say done editing. Now when we go to coin play, so now when a nickel is deposited, one of those three songs will be played. And the way the algorithm works, it'll be the first song, Silver Bells. Next time is White Christmas. Next time is Winter Wonderland. And then the next coin will be Silver Bells again. We go back to playlists. Let's go ahead and create a new playlist. Let's just call it 4th of July. So let's say you want to have a bunch of patriotic songs for the 4th of July. We created that. Let's edit it. And let's put in Star Spangled Banner, America the Beautiful, American Salute. That's good enough for now. And so now, those are the songs that'll be played. And if you're having a party, you want to just start the playlist, you just select it, you hit start. So let's go to the end. So when this song's over, it'll go to America the Beautiful automatically. So the same thing with albums. If you have an album and you purchase from Mills Novelty and I don't know, the Beatles Volume 1, so that's an album I purchased. You can just say start album. And it'll play all the songs in your album. Um, if you hit change system settings, that will bring up things that you can do for configuring the system, like which MIDI device is currently using, computer ID, license keys, which allow the software to run. If you purchase more music from Mills Novelty, you would put that on a thumb drive. You stick that into the Violano control computer. You hit update, and the music is automatically copied there, and you're good to go. Same thing if new software is updated, web pages are updated, you would download that, put it on the thumb drive, stick it into the computer device, hit update, and it will update the whole system automatically. So it's all pretty straightforward. So, search. Let's look at search. Let's go back to all songs. And so let's say you wanted to find, if you had 2,000 songs and you were searching for the sound of music. Well, you can hit search, and the sound of music ends in the word music, so you can just say find all songs that end in music, and there it is. So you want to find all songs that begin with the word the. Just type in the. Let's say you want to find all songs that had the word the in the middle of it. And you just put in star, the, star. Uh, find all songs with the word pink in them. P-I-N-K, Pink Panther. Disable search brings back all the songs. And so searching within your playlist is pretty straightforward. I might change search, or I might add it. I might, instead of using the wildcard symbols, I might put in buttons that say begins with, contains, or ends with. Haven't decided if I want to do that or not. That might clutter up the user interface because having more buttons there. But I'd like to hear input from people viewing this video and what they think. Okay, so that is the user interface for a full-blown computer with a nice big screen. Now let's take a look at what the interface looks like on an iPad. Okay, so here is the user interface for the iPad mini. And same thing as with the Mac, the iPad mini is on the network, the same Wi-Fi network that the Violano is on. So we just open up a browser and go to the URL of the Violano, which is 192.168.173.1, and we are going to tell it that we want to connect to the connect to the network that the Violano is on. Get the same splash screen, and here comes the UI. Since the iPad mini has a smaller display than the traditional desktop, instead of seeing 3 columns of buttons, we only see 2. And again, we can go to list view if that is your preference. So we can see all the songs in a simple list. And again, if we want to play a song, this is actually being recorded, the voice is being recorded after the fact because the iPad mini screen recording doesn't record audio. So you will not hear the Violano playing in the background. But let's go ahead and play A Star Spangled Banner. And as you can see, it is playing. You can't hear it because I said this is a voiceover, but the display is showing the name of the song and the progress that we're into the song. We're at about 6%. We can pause it. We can resume it. We can increase the tempo of the song. We can slow it down. We reset it. We can advance the song to a different place within the song itself. And we can go ahead and stop it. Same thing with playlists. See all, whatever I got, 6 playlists, I guess. If we want to go back to the table view, we can do that. Albums. There's all of our albums. Next, to see the next albums, or we can go to list view, see them all. We can scroll up and down. So virtually the identical interface that we saw on the Mac, just a little condensed in the table view. And if we go to change system settings, same thing. It'll come up a little smaller, made to fit onto the screen of the iPad mini. Go back to the main screen. So that, in a nutshell, is the UI for the iPad mini. Next thing we'll show is the iPhone 6. Okay, so here is the interface for an iPhone 6, and this is just a regular 6. It's not a 6 Plus, so it's got a fairly small screen. So again, this iPhone is on the same network as the Violano, and so we just enter the browser URL to be the IP address of the Violano, and then we tell it we want to connect to it on the Violano network. Get the same splash screen, and then the default interface is a simple list, not the table view that shows up on the iPad mini or the full-blown Mac version. Of course, you can go to the table view, and then you get looks like 6 or 7 songs at a time, and you can hit the next and previous, but really the list view makes more sense for an iPhone size screen. So we can easily scroll up and down, go to playlists, same thing, stays in list view, and go to albums. We can see all of our albums. Scrolling up and down, very simple, very straightforward. So let's go into albums and actually play a song. So let's play All My Loving. And so you can't hear it because the iPhone screen recorder does not allow audio recording, but All My Loving is being played in the background. And we can pause it, we can resume it, just like we can on the PC interface or the Mac interface. We can change the tempo, make it go faster, make it go slower, and also, we can change the position of the song, and we can stop it. So now let's go into playlists and let's actually edit a playlist and see how that works on the iPhone. So we're in the playlist, we're hit edit, so we see all the songs that are in the playlist show up in red. we just removed Silver Bells and we added Talk to the Animals. And so let's go ahead and go back and look at the playlist. And sure enough, Talk to the Animals is there. Okay, so let's take a look and see how search works on the iPhone interface. We enter search and we'll enter search for every song that begins with the. And so we see the 7 or 8 songs that begin with the word the. And so disable the search now and back to all songs. So that is the UI on the iPhone 6. So that's the end of the video. If you have any comments or anything, you should know how to reach me via email. If not, just leave a comment on the YouTube video. Thanks everyone, and look forward to hearing from you.